Rightio, while we're fiddling around with something up here, next one is going to be from Kateryna, and Fighting the Real Foes, a true story about testers. And I feel something bad coming on. Testers? Do we still need testers? I think I might be being kicked off the stage soon. I'm not sure.
To change your attitude after my presentation.
Well, let's hope so. But,
yes.
I mean, you're going to have to try hard.
Oh, I have special secrets to draw developers' attention to that.
That sounds ominous.
What was our... Nothing? HDMI?
Yes. Apparently, you're going to have to put up with me for a little bit longer while they sort that out.
You said you were all doing it off the Mac.
Yes, but it was not working. Yeah.
Something happened.
Sorry.
Still. Could be worse. It could be CDR6. Let's say no more on that.
Right click on it.
Blue.
Okay, I can just start talking a bit. So I understand that many developers still regard testers as their antagonists. So what the heck, man? We are building the code, you are breaking it. But guys, let me tell you a tiny little secret. We don't break your code. You do. Or do you think that during the night when you are sound asleep, some evil testers crawl to their computers, put bugs inside your perfect code, and next day, at the bright daylight, they say, "Ha-ha! Here they are!"
Well, let's explain why the nightly keeps failing.
Yes, a good try, but it doesn't work that way. The thing is that actually, while Cole is trying to fix my presentation, I can talk a bit more. So testers are really, really cool guys that help you to understand why it's not working. And yes, now I can really, really start. Oops. I wish. Where is this mouse?
It's over here. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, cool. You see, he's a developer. That's why he killed my Prezi. Yeah, wait. Prezi is not very fast tool, but I really, really hope that it's worth waiting.
So don't press the red one.
Oh, really? I'm a tester. I should press all the buttons. Okay. So let's start. Fight the real foes. First of all, that's how an ordinary developer thinks of a testers. Well, actually, a tester's corner of their team. Well, let's see if it's right. Remember, it's a true story about testers. First of all, let's take a closer look. I have a test. Well, actually, who is who on this picture? We have a bug or a problem. We have testers. We have developers. Who is who? Okay, name me the developer.
The one in the hot dress?
Wrong.
Well, yes! You are absolutely right. We are the same team. We don't have different goals, guys. We do the same thing. We are trying to find problems in your code before it goes to the customer. So we are fighting on the same side. So, who testers really are? Let's start with who we are not. That's definitely not a story of testers, because we're more like detectives. Because we need to think of different kind of things. We need to ask clever questions to get the right answers. Because for testers, it's very important to tell what this behavior is. Is that a bug or is that a normal thing? Again, why do we need testers? Apparently, as I already told, it's just to be sure that the customer is happy getting less bugs, right? Because the less bugs the customer finds, the better your work is, right? The more happy he is, you spend less money on fixing these bugs and things. Let's keep in mind that testers and developers see the world differently. And why is that important? I read a wonderful book recently which is called Wisdom of the Crowd. And it tells how big crowds can make very clever decisions, like in stock market or like in a normal market. And there are 4 key factors to success of a wisdom of a crowd. Those are diversity. It means that people with different background can give you different opinions on the same thing. That's why testers are so important. We bring diversity. Then they should be independent. Independence is very, very important, and I will tell you a bit later why it is so important. Because independent people, they ask these damned questions. Are you 100% sure this is working? Are you 100% sure that this is working the way it should be, and what if? Then the third factor is that people should be decentralized, so no authoritative managing. And the fourth thing for success is the ability to aggregate results. And that's where the testers can help too, by providing good test coverage, by providing good testing and test results. So let's take, but how differently do we see this picture? So that's how the real life looks like, how the developers see the world. It's not that you are bad. No, on the contrary, you have a very great thing that, because you know all these intricate things, that how these things work, how this methodology work, what are dependencies between different classes, between different objects, between different methods and stuff. Because we, as testers, we don't see that. And the developers, the testers, they should see the big picture. So how your particular functionality should work in the big picture, in the real world. But pay attention. Nobody sees the real picture. Because, and that's, do you see how diversity helps here? We help each other to build this big picture of a real world. So, as you see, testers are crucial for the team success, because they keep bugging you with questions, what if? And that's why it's so important to talk to testers, to make friends with them. Testers can be devil's advocates, and that's good. Why? Have you seen this movie, 12 Angry Men? It's a very good movie. And actually, if for those who don't know, one single person who was not sure if it's 12 men in the jury, he was not sure if the guy was really guilty. And 11 others were 100% sure he was guilty, and they were ready to send him to death. But only one single person asking questions could save the life of probably innocent person, because he was not sure if he was murderer or not. Take another case, when there was conformity. It's the Columbia catastrophe, and we working in healthcare must remember that people's lives depend on us. People's lives depend on our decisions. In that case, the problem was that a piece of foam hit the wing of the spacecraft. And the team discussing this problem was not sure whether it's important, whether it's not important, whether they should try to do something or if they have nothing to do with it. But the problem was they had the conformity in their views. They came from the same background. They didn't have this tester guy who said, are you 100% sure? Are you 100% sure you can't do nothing with that? That's why it's really, really important. And that's why you should keep asking yourself. So let me tell you how we work, what the goals of testing are. First of all, we find bugs. And it's not a bad thing. Because if we try to find bugs and we don't find them, it means that your code is quite okay, right? And by that, we help to build confidence in our software. So at least we say, okay, the happy path doesn't fail. And then the customer may use it, well, at least with the happy path. So it gives some level of confidence. Then testers provide information for decision making by exploring bugs. Testers don't decide if this particular build should go into production. Product owner, client, customer, whoever does, but not the testers. We recommend, we don't say. We can say, okay, guys, we have this P0 issue that everything crashes and you can't go with in production with it. But the product owner may have a different opinion on that because this particular functionality with this P0, P1 bug is rarely used, but the customer needs some workaround or whatever for another problem which is used more frequently. So it's not our decision. It's not testers' decision. And again, we help to prevent defects. How do we do that? Because if we test the requirements, if we test the user story and we find some inconsistencies, we find some problems with it, it means that this bug doesn't go into the code. It doesn't go into the test. It doesn't go into production, and you won't need to fix it. That's why it's so important to work with testers before you start implementing any kind of functionality, because you should sit together. You should talk and discuss how you are going to develop it, how you are going to test it, and do you mean the same thing? So we are guided by 7 test principles. Do you spot any differences? Who does? Yes, 8 lists. Exactly. So the first principle of testing is testing shows presence of defects, but testing cannot show that there are no defects in the code, because we might test wrong part of the code, or we might not know all these scenarios. But testing shows presence of defects. Next is exhaustive testing is impossible. Exhaustive testing means to test everything. It's not feasible, guys. That's why it's so important for you to write and run your unit tests, which Jarek and Jakub told you about. It's crucial because we don't know these dependencies. You see, if we even have guessed some parts of it, we can't cover the whole thing. And remember that your unit tests are backbone, safe net for yourselves, for your future changes of the code. So help testers, because I know many developers, when a tester is introduced into their team, they relax and stop testing their code at all. Guys, that is wrong. Just imagine, for example, you have 3 developers and 1 tester. You develop this functionality, say today. It comes to the tester only in 3 days' time, because there is too much work to be done. He sees a bug there. He writes a bug. The bug is processed. The bug is triaged. It gets back to you, say, in 5 days. Do you remember what we were working on 5 days ago? You will still need to go back into context, fix this bug, and then retest, repeat, and blah, blah, blah. It will eat a lot of time from everyone. So please, guys, do test your own code. Then the principle of early testing. That's what I was talking about. The sooner you start testing, the better. If you have a user story, do test it. The utmost joy of testing I had when I was working in an R&D department, when I was able to test the ideas, not requirements, not user stories, but ideas, because I could kill something inefficient at the very, very beginning. It's cool. Next thing is defect clustering. The thing is that if one particular functionality has lots of bugs, and even if you fix all of them, you will be able to find even more bugs in that. And actually, this thing is very good to analyze your code for refactoring. If some particular functionality has this defect clustering problem, probably it's high time to refactor it. Then absence of errors policy. That's what Jakub was talking about. Yay, compiled code, no errors. Are you 100% sure that there are no errors? Have you tested all the scenarios? But even if your application doesn't have any bugs, well, let's imagine that, does it mean that it's usable? That the end user will be able to solve his problems using your software? Nuh-uh. That's why it's so important to do the validation with the customer, with the product owner. So to validate your product, and testers can help you in that as well. Then pesticide paradox. It means that running the same tests over the same piece of code will stop finding bugs. And the last thing, that testing is context dependent. And you should also understand that, because testing a mobile application is a very different thing from testing a desktop application. So these are the things that guide us. And remember, we fight on the same side with you. And let me just remind who your real foes are. The bugs. The problems. And we help you to find them before they go to production, before the catastrophe happens. And one of the largest foes is miscommunication. And I have some tricks. How to get over it. Talk, 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 and talk. And yes, that's my secret weapon in working with developers. Yes. All developers, after my talk is over, are welcome to pick one. Again, remember, we fight on the same side with you. Testers are your friends. Look at all these. And even more. I have more. Thank you. Any questions? Am I that perfect?
Apparently, testing says so.
Thank you.
Or at least empirical results. Oh, well, we actually finished on time for once.
Yay!
Thank you all very much for coming. And look out for a January Dev Guild event. Heaven only knows what it'll be that time around. And we'll see you all next time.